riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. Here's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here to discuss it and tell you, the fine listener, whether or not we hate it, and of course, why. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, co-host extraordinaire, Condoleezza Rice to my Scooter Libby, Timothy Richardson. Scooter, how you doing, buddy?
I don't know why you always do the wrong name at that point. I'm doing bad, Garrett.
Oh, can't be doing worse than me. What's wrong with you? I was looking for you to buoy me this week. I've had a tough week. What's going on?
You know exactly what's going on, Garrett. Everything around this goddamn apartment and our studio and our research lab is broken. The sinks don't work. The showers only have cold water. The toilets only have cold water. There's a hole in the side of the apartment. It has been snowing a lot lately. And so I finally got tired of always being cold and having cold water on me. And I hired the handsy man out of those yellow pages you gave me. And, you know, I
that
don't
was
do
not
this.
a yellow pages. That was a back pages, first of all.
Okay, well, I don't understand the difference. My point is that I should have hired a handyman, and there is a world of difference between the two. That jackass seems way more interested in playing grab ass than fixing things around here. It's been a real problem. He just added a problem.
Hey, well, I mean, you could invite him to leave.
He won't leave. He says, Garrett, I did not pay him for all this time, but he says he's been well compensated.
Okay, now this sounds like the sort of grade A prank that I might be behind. Using money irresponsibly to torture you. But as you've noticed, I have been impacted by this, so I can firmly confirm for you, I had nothing to do with this. I can only assume this is a Gino and or intern-fueled prank.
If it's the interns, Garrett, I am going to apply COVID precautions to this whole place, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Let's talk before you do that, because there's implications. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying we need to
we still have the place in Austin. Let's just, I cannot
filled
have
with
this.
raccoons.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. But I mean, technically, Garrett, a raccoon versus one of our interns, who's really causing more damage?
I completely agree. Listen, also, you want to keep a abandoned property vagrant free. You fill it with raccoons.
And you fill those
and
raccoons
at the end of it,
with rabies.
Well, the rabies, it just kind of just happens. I don't know where the fuck they get it.
Oh, I was giving them rabies. You have to give them rabies.
But when you want that property back, there's a whole bunch of laws against gassing a bunch of vagrants in your house, but I don't know a single law against gassing a bunch of raccoons with rabies. It's public service.
All right.
Just saying, little home tip. You won't hear that one on the HGTV network. That's a WIHTA original.
All right.
Tim, you didn't ask, but I'm going to share. I took a couple days off and, just really, well, frankly, I got super into X-Men, the animated series. And I was curious, in the sewers of Manhattan, could I maybe start my own underground gang of misfits and mutants?
You absolutely can. Before you go on, let me answer this so you don't have to do this. You can. You can recruit from the north part of the park. There's a lot of available people, we can call them there, and you can take them down in the sewers and you can train them all you want. Don't, though. Don't do it. Continue.
See, I wish I had to talk to you 3-4 days ago.
Oh, God. Listen, we can't both be doing this stuff.
I know, but listen, you always get to have all the fun. I have to be straight-laced, make sure the show comes out on time, ensure we get all our shots. You know me. You've known me a very long time. On the show, I seem pretty put together, responsible, cool-headed. But you know me. I'm none of those things.
Oh, no.
I don't ever get to just enjoy myself anymore. So I thought I'd go under there, start my own gang of mutants, lead them, maybe have some sort of small rebellion a la Chud.
Yeah, let me ask a quick question here. Did it go as you'd expect? Did it turn out well?
It didn't.
See, this is why I'm here. I know, listen, I have made a lot of mistakes, a lot of sewer mutant related mistakes, a lot of turning normal humans, well, sort of normal humans, park people, into sewer sewer mutants? And I could have answered a lot of these questions, Garrett.
Yeah, so I put together my own group of Morlocks, and at first it went great. First 24 hours, we're pickpocketing, we're living like kings. It's a real, like, Lost Boys situation. They were girls, of course, you know, I don't see gender, but around, like, the 36-hour mark, I got a real Lord of the Flies vibe, and it wasn't just me, because they quickly moved to overthrow me as their leader.
This is how you spent Christmas?
Yeah, they stabbed me twice.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Separate incidents.
Again, I could have told you about the stabbings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wish I'd had you there. I forget, we used to do more stuff together.
No, I mean, listen, if you'd like to come on some of my adventures, you are always welcome, but you have to go along with the things I do. That's the key.
I know, I really feel like you've kicked things up since we moved to the Big Apple.
It sounds so stupid when you say it. The Big Apple.
Bad news, Tim. It sounds pretty stupid when you say it too. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough about our holiday retreats. Morlocks aside, Tim, what song have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the song You Get What You Give by The New Radicals. And yes, listener, you did hear that pronounced correctly. That N is backward. Released November 10th, 1998, the Saudi Arabia days.
Oh, yeah. And Tim, after an entire week with these new radicals that are roughly 20-ish years old, God, closer to 30, do you hate this song?
Nah. What about you?
Oh my, no. It sounds like you meh it.
Yeah, I'm not super into it.
Well, let's find out why. Prior to this week, Timothy, what is your history with this band? Had you heard this song? Are you a new Radicals head? What's the deal?
I have heard this song 31,019 times. Never heard any of the actual lyrics. Never knew who this band was. Never knew what this band was. Never put it on. No real interest in this. But I've heard it. I know the general melody. Yeah. What about you? Are you getting what I'm giving? Wait. Yeah, that's it.
I guess so. Hate to put it that way, but yeah. Very similar history with a very, very small difference. Heard it, 32,000 times. Difference being is I listen to a lot of stations on my Apple Music.
Yes.
90s stations, Garrett's station, etc. So I hear this song no less than once a week.
Huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Did I not get a goddamn Christmas present this year because you were spending your money on those filthy Morlocks that you created?
You're very close. You did not get a Christmas present this year, but that is because a Morlock ate your present.
Oh.
It was not edible.
I can forgive that.
It was a box set of classic blues records. And here's the real ass kicker. Like, I say Morlock, but I mean, let's be honest, none of them had powers.
No. In fact, they had like inverse powers. They're weakened.
Disabilities.
Yeah.
They had, certainly their immune systems.
Let's not talk about this anymore.
They were very sad Morlocks. And the Morlocks in the Marvel comics, as I understand it, pretty sad. But real Morlocks, it's a lot more like a Needle Park situation. Anyway, Morlocks aside, again, for now. So we both heard it a bunch. I've heard it more recently than you. However, the interesting thing, Tim, I still hear it about once a week, probably have for the last 5 years. I still don't know any of the words beyond the chorus, at least prior to this week, that is. So it's catchy, but it's also forgettable.
Yeah.
That's your history. That's my history. Before we can talk about the song itself, everybody needs to understand how we got here. So take us on a journey. Help me understand, and I suppose the listener, who are these new radicals, and how did You Get What You Give come to be?
The New Radicals is basically Greg Alexander and Danielle Brisbois, plus a bunch of rotating touring musicians that come and go. Now, Greg, aka Gregory Aiuto, aka Alexander, aka Cecil Orchestra, was born in 1970 in Grosse Pointe, Michigan, to a couple of crazy Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, I don't think they were necessarily crazy for Jehovah's Witnesses, but crazy compared to the rest of good Christian society. These are people that do not vote, do not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, do not celebrate birthdays, Easter, or Christmas, and they do not accept blood transfusions. Also, only 144,000 people get to go to heaven, and it is not footwear-based. Lunatics.
So here's the thing. I've never understood that count, because does that mean somebody gets kicked out when somebody more holy comes available?
I think God knows in advance which 144,000 he's going to take. So like you could be doing all the right things, you could be wearing all the right shoes, and just you were not chosen millennia ago.
Or, at some point that's going to fill up.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, for all of history.
If he knows everybody, sure. But let's just pretend for a moment, right, that humanity doesn't destroy itself, which we will, spoiler alert, but pretend we don't. Eventually, that 144 gets hit, and then humanity's just out there abiding by these very confusing laws with no chance of ever getting in there.
Well, maybe it's timed such that 144,000 gets hit right about the time we enter Mad Max times, and then, they're a bunch of roving savages. None of those people are going to heaven.
Interesting. That's something that they've never really explored in the Mad Max series, is there's always people that are incredibly religious in any society, even an anarchic, cannibalistic society. What do those people do in order to justify their behavior in that scenario? I assume they just become insanely more brutal, like the Catholic Church did.
Any shoozlebees. Gregory started playing guitar at 12, whilst his sister played piano, and then at 14 he started a band with his brother and some other kids called the Circus. They competed in a battle of the bands against John 5, a guy who would go on to play guitar for David Lee Roth, Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and Motley Crue. He went on to get signed as a solo artist at like 17, 18, something like that. He released 2 albums for A&M and Epic that no one, and I do mean no one, gave a shit about. That would be Michigan Rain in 1989 and Intoxifornication in 1992.
You get it? Because I don't.
No, I don't either. Danielle Brisbois, on the other hand, was born in 1969 in Brooklyn, the Big Apple, and had somehow a much weirder life. At 7, she was in the excellent film The Premonition, about a kid in the foster system being stalked by her mother and circus clown boyfriend. Sorry, her mother's circus clown boyfriend, to be clear. She then went on to star in one of Garrett's all-time favorite shows, Kojak, and was in the original Broadway cast of Annie. Notably, Garrett, you ever hear that Jason Z song, Hard Knock Life, ghetto anthem?
Oh yeah, that'd be her, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she's the one singing It's a Hard Knock Life, sampled by the, according to Garrett, definitely innocent Jason Z.
Yep.
She joined the main cast for the 9th season of All in the Family as Stephanie Mills and the spin-off Archie Bunker's Place. She continued acting throughout the 1980s, earning her a spot on the coveted VH1's Greatest Kid Stars list at number 50. She was then hired to do backing vocals for Gregory's second album, Intoxifornication, and began collaborating with him. He would then write, sing, and produce on her solo album, the disgustingly titled Arrive All Over You in 1994, which, like Gregory's solo albums, nobody cared about.
That is a fantastic title. That sounds like a Mr. Show sketch.
Yeah.
With their new album, we're gonna arrive all over you. Here's 3 + 1 - 1. God.
The two wanted to continue to collabo, so they started a band in 1997 called New Radicals and signed to MCA Records. They wrote and Greg produced an album called Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too, which was totally cool and deep and subversive and was not pretentious, cliched, or douchey at all. Gregory said that he, and I'm quoting here, was motivated to write the album after spending time traveling the world and witnessing the extent of global suffering and injustice. I wanted to express a newfound conviction that the American dream is a lie for most people. I was sick of the messages that corporate brainwashers was sending. I wanted to use New Radicals to make people take a look at the system around them and think, am I being brainwashed too? We are being brainwashed by watching 5 hours of TV a day, by buying into the idea that you have to be super skinny or that you need to have all the hip clothes. Are those the things we need, or are they just tools to stop us from paying attention to real problems? Like the fact that teachers hardly make any money and we can't supply our schools with computers? Which, valid points and whatnot, but this guy sucks.
We're gonna solve those problems with music.
The album was released in the spooky month of October 1998 and was well received generally, although some critics thought the lyrics amounted to shallow posturing and empty social pronouncements. They released the single of the week and toured heavily to promote this thing, including opening for the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, that seems like a good pairing.
It does, right? They apparently knew that this would be their only real hit from the album, and so they would frequently play it twice per show to really give people their money's worth.
That's amazing. I both really respect that, and I'm also like, oh, New Radicals. That's tough.
I completely respect it. They released a second single from the album in May 1999. The spoilers did not do as well as this single. Then they broke up in July 1999, just shy of 9 months after releasing their first album. Gregory said, "The New Radicals will no longer be a recording, promoting, or performing entity. He would focus on producing and writing material for other artists." He went on to say that he accomplished all of his goals with the record, and the fatigue of traveling and getting 3 hours of sleep in a different hotel every night to do boring hanging and schmoozing with radio and retail people is definitely not for him.
Having accomplished all my goals in my first presidency, I saw no need to run for a second.
Oh, George, you were one of the good ones. Anyway, Gregory went on to write and produce and sing on songs by Hanson, Santana, Enrique Iglesias, Rod Stewart et al. Danielle wrote and produced songs for Clay Aiken, Kelly Clarkson, Paula Abdul, Kylie Montague, and others. Gregory and Danielle continued to work together, though, writing songs for the excellent feature film Begin Again in 2013, one of which was nominated for an Academy Award, but lost alongside our girl Diane Warren to Common and John Legend's Glory from a film that Garrett gave 2.5 stars to when we were reviewing movies, Selma.
God damn you.
Didn't see himself fairly represented in the film.
No, come on. There's a line we're crossing right now. Very uncomfortable with everything you're saying. Just no.
All right,
no.
well, let me make it more uncomfortable, Garrett. They were in another short-lived band called the Not So Silent Majority, where they performed at Obama Rock in 2008 to support Barack Obama's campaign. But that's not the only politician that loves their music. Well, there's actually no evidence that Barack Obama actually liked any of their music, but Beau Biden, Joe Biden's non-shitty son, loved the song of the week. His sister Ashley Biden recited the lyrics in her eulogy at his funeral. The New Radicals actually reunited in 2021 to perform the song of the week at Biden's inauguration. The song was used by Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, in that campaign. He also used it as his walk-on music in the 2024 DNC. And Joe Biden's autobiography referred to the song of the week as, and I'm quoting here, his family's rallying theme song during Beau's terminal battle with glioblastoma and Beau's wife's subsequent non-creepy relationship with Hunter Biden, the shitty son.
God.
Garrett, what is your family's rallying theme song?
Ooh, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
Excellent. We also might see a resurgence of this band, though. They released the singles Murder on the Dance Floor and Lost Stars this year, and to that I say, Le Fes.
And a Murder on the Dance Floor to you. Dude, yeah, that song at one point this year was the most popular song in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Well, it's because of Saltburn. There's a pretty lengthy Barry Keoghan dance sequence where he hangs dong to this song.
Don't know what Saltburn is.
I know.
Oh, that's for the listener.
They know. You've become like, folks, if you listen to the episodes back to back, and I don't recommend you do, but you will be able to chart, and it's not hard, you don't need a degree for this. You can chart the disintegration's a strong word. The decomposition, that's the better word.
That sounds worse.
Well, it's more accurate. Of Tim's social, cultural, emotional, touchstones with humanity.
I'm out there mixing it up with people in the park. A lot of them were missing recently. I heard they went stolen and forced into the sewers, but I get out there, Garrett.
All the people you quote-unquote mix it up with have names like Barry Bridge and Johnny No Legs, and Johnny has legs, so what is that?
That's foreshadowing, Garrett. Johnny has real bad diabetes.
Oh, Jesus. He's just leaning into it. Hey, hi, I'm Johnny No Legs. I know, I've got really bad neuropathy. I just, I see it coming, so I'm getting it started early.
Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself, especially if you do have diabetes. Make sure you check those HbA1cs and your blood glucose levels frequently. It will cause neuropathy, among a number of other complications.
That's the history. Great stuff, Timmy. Let's listen to a clip of this song before we get into it. I thought this band had more hits. And so we should definitely preface this episode with hey folks, maybe go listen to this song, because unless you were alive when it came out, and most of you, it's weird, half of our listeners are 40 plus and the other half are 20 and under. So half of you don't know what this is. So
I thought everyone saw it on Salt Barge.
No, not this song.
Oh.
Murder on the Dance Floor.
Oh.
It's Murder on the Dance Floor.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, that's fine. So here it is, folks. This song, New Radicals, You Get What You Give.
Don't give up, you
has an ELO feel to it, sorta.
Okay, I know where you're coming from there. It also has the "It was good living when you want." Not that they sound the same, but just like that genre, like where it's like alternative pop.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very 90s feel to it, right? Like you could hear this and place it within 2 years of when it came out.
Yes.
I will say, though, the intro feels like a 90s update on a Rolling Stones song, and I definitely think he's trying to sing like Mick Jagger.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, absolutely. But he's like, in order to hold the tone, he gets really out of breath.
Yeah, but you can tell he's trying to do that. Like, he thinks he's nailing it.
Well, that's actually an interesting comparison. I've never once listened to this and thought that, but now having heard it, yeah, absolutely. I don't know if he's meaning to or not, but if he is, he's taking a lot of breaks to make sure he doesn't fuck it up. It does seem like they might have stitched it together. But yeah, it does open with a lot of cha-cha, 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 cha-cha. And then, of course, a count off before we'll get into the song itself.
Yeah,
but that's in a minute.
When you hear it, you can tell, like, this guy's opening his mouth way wider to sing than any normal human would. You know, like,
Right.
he's doing like an Art Garfunkel where he's about to eat that microphone.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's the only way to get that
Poor.
sound, that Mick Jaggery sound. Do you know that there's a band called Garfunkel and Garfunkel where Garfunkel plays with his son?
No.
Yeah, that's a thing. I think they only do covers, though, because, you know, that guy was never really much of a songwriter. So it's maybe not that interesting, but...
or more interesting. It's better than if he came out and was like, here's some songs we've been working on.
I think
I don't want that.
That would immediately be on this show, Garrett.
Well, yeah, okay. Pretend for a minute you listen to things for fun.
I can't, because I haven't in a while.
I feel like you're using that as a crutch. Yet another example of you pulling away from society, building your own little fantasy land. You and Johnny No Legs. Billy Bridge. I don't even want to know why he's called Billy Bridge.
It's not why you'd think.
Because he gives handies under the bridge?
No. He was a civil
It's
engineer.
exactly what you think.
He was a civil engineer, but then his alcoholism caused him to lose his job.
And now...
He lives under the bridge and gives handies, yes.
But that's not what we call him,
Right,
man.
it's the civil engineer part.
Right.
It also feels like it was designed to be played over like a feel-good montage or the closing credits or maybe like in an ironic one of those, your old school kind of the boob comedy movies that were so popular around this time.
Oh, yeah, I could see Vince Vaughn or Jim Carrey, after they've been a real shitheel for the first 2/3 of the movie, starting to clean up their act. We got a montage of like Jim Carrey maybe answering everybody's prayers, or Steve Carell realizing that he can't pollute the planet. I don't know. And
God, those were good movies. I'm so sad they didn't finish that trilogy.
That second one is horrid.
Tim Almighty, that script is already written. Hollywood.
Yeah, no one wants that. Evan Almighty. God, that movie was really bad. Anyway, back to this song. Yes, it seems like it was genetically made in order to be played over a montage of somebody who's not a bad guy, but needs a little guidance learning his lesson. Shockingly, didn't find a long list of shows and movies that it was used in.
No, but that's, I think, because everyone has forgotten about it in the intervening time. I suspect it was used in a number of movies. Just no one on the internet bothered to collect those.
Wikipedia, you're failing me. It feels like it should be in Shallow Hal.
Yeah, or maybe Sorority Boys. You remember Sorority Boys?
Tim, I remember I just showed some people Sorority Boys the other day. I was like, hey, here's the thing that existed. And they were just like, what? And here's a Garrett Harvey fun fact, number 2268-B. I learned how to do my Wookiee from Sorority Boys.
Oh, you're a Harlan Williams acolyte.
Yeah. Yes, both words. Accurate. Yeah, he does a really good Wookiee in the trailer, and it's in the movie, a little longer scene there where he's pulling the hair out of the drain. And for whatever reason, when I watched a human do it and not a giant hairy ape, I was like, oh, that's how you do that.
So this is the third way in which your personality is based mostly on Shallow Hal and Sorority Boys.
The fourth.
Oh.
I didn't tell you the third, though.
No. I do know now. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah. Anyway, to our listeners, Shallow Hal and Sorority Boys are both really good movies that you should watch.
That's maybe the most irresponsible advice you've ever given on this show. It's okay to like a movie, though. I can't tell you not to like a movie.
Do you not like those movies?
I do not like those movies. I like Sorority Boys.
Interesting.
I don't like Shallow Hal.
I saw both of those movies in theaters.
That is the sentence I was starting.
Oh.
Honestly, Jason Alexander plays an excellent creep.
Yeah, and he's got that tail.
Yes, in the movie.
Alexander wrote this song after having a dream in which he heard music coming from a house and walked in to find Joni Mitchell, who told him to have a seat. Joni Mitchell was in baby blue pajamas. She said, have a seat, and we talked about music. I wrote, You Get What You Give the same day.
I'm not entirely sure how the two are related, but good on you.
Joni Mitchell heard that and said, this song was the only thing I heard in many years that I thought had greatness in it, and it stopped her from quitting music. Those are both true things. I mean, the dream was probably bullshit, but that Joni Mitchell thing she claims is real.
Yeah, she really likes this song. Apparently so does like Ice-T.
I can see that. Yeah. I can see how this song influenced the music of Ice-T and the acting.
Yeah, definitely the acting.
This should have been in Anaconda over the closing credits.
That's Ice Cube.
Oh, I don't know who Ice-T is.
God. God.
Well, I stand by it. I think that would be funny.
Ice Cube, there's snakes out there this big?
Yeah.
21 Jump Street. Ice-T, what do you mean?
I think we have to bleep some of this. This is irresponsible impressions.
I don't think so. I think they're pretty accurate.
I know. I'm not saying they're bad, Garrett. I'm saying we shouldn't.
Society won't agree.
Yeah, society will not accept this.
Why? What?
I know, Garrett. I know. This is why you have to say this is an impression of me if I were raised from birth by Ice-T and had no one else to get my vocal affectations from. Then it's fine. You can do it all you want. I still can't do Tracy
sound like
Morgan.
Those men. I won't do a Tracy Morgan. Because I honestly, and this is a fact, Tracy Morgan's voice out of Tracy Morgan's mouth is a little racist.
Absolutely.
And I think he knows that.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's
Tracy
leaning
Morgan,
into it.
I simultaneously find him to be the greatest person on the planet / I might kill Tracy Morgan if I ever have to deal with him.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Have you ever seen him in the airport?
No.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Are you taking trips with Tracy Morgan?
No.
Are you taking trips adjacent to Tracy Morgan?
Once in a while.
No.
And he walks or wheels, typically he gets wheeled through the airport with a Bluetooth speaker on his shoulders like it's a boombox, which is hilarious, but it is so fucking loud and it's always something insane, like the Dawson's Creek theme song.
What if it was this song?
That wouldn't shock me at all. Oh. And he's singing as loud as he can to it with all the wrong words.
I take it back. National treasure.
Right? Like, I love that. But also, like, you've been in an airport waiting for your airplane. What? You don't want that.
Yeah, no, I would jab my Gardettos right in his eyeballs. Really.
Why do we always eat Gardettos on airplanes?
They're so good.
They really are.
Here's the trick. You know how you came up with the genius plan? You get the ones that are only the crispy brown things and then the normal Gardettos?
Yes.
Here's a little tweak to that. Throw away the normal Gardettos. Get Chex Mix, because Chex Mix is a better mix with the crispy brown things. Because most of the Gardettos kind of suck, but you get those Chex in there, that's pretty good stuff.
You know, I think I agree. I'm down. God, if you got the time, folks, it's the holidays. Well, it's over by the time you're hearing this. Make Chex Mix. Like real Chex Mix? Holy shit. Who'd have thought toasting Chex could be so delicious?
Let's make snacks after this, Garrett.
Yeah, no, we're definitely making snacks after this.
All right. We're not giving any to those goddamn sewer people, though.
No. The Morlocks are dead.
Oh, I was going to say, let's make snacks and then hunt them while eating our snacks, but I guess we don't need to do that second
Wish I'd talked to you a couple days ago. We should get into the song. It's been an hour or so.
Yeah.
All right. Track number 1, they say... Wake up, kids. We got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, they got you down on your knees. So polite, we're busy still saying please. Frenemies, who when you're down ain't your friend. Every night we smash a Mercedes-Benz. First we run, and then we laugh till we cry.
Yeah, but it's all sung in the pauses are all in the right. Wake up, kids. We got the dreamer's disease. Age 14. It's irresponsible. And it seems to be about how being like a kid sucks and how society expects you to conform and expects you to please everyone and to shut up and, go to college or whatever. Don't shave your head and get a bucket hat. We'll get there.
Yeah, don't shave your head and get a bucket hat. That's too extreme. God. Yeah, the man holds down the dreamers till we get so angry we start smashing luxury cars. I will give them credit for possibly inventing the term frenemy.
They did not. So this was apparently the first song to use the term frenemy, but it did appear in print in 1953 by Walter Winchell in the Nevada State Journal in an article called How's About Calling the Russians Our Frenemies? And then again in 1977 by Jessica Mitford, who claimed her sister coined the term.
I don't recognize Mitford. Winchell, I apologize.
Yeah.
Well, let's see here. Song continues. But when the night is is falling. No, we won't do that.
We should, though.
But when the night is falling, you cannot find the light. You feel your dreams are dying. Hold tight.
Now, is there whisper singing in the background?
Let's see.
You cannot find the light.
Oh, yes, there is.
Yeah, just saying.
What's going on here? When the night, I guess when it's at your darkest and it feels as though there's no hope, you can't find inspiration to keep going and you must not let your dreams die.
Well, it's about feeling crushed by that. And the chorus kind of reverses it here. But yeah, I think it's about feeling like you don't want to be crushed by society, dude. But that's probably going to happen. You're probably going to become an architect or a mechanical engineer or whatever other garbage jobs there are out there. Pilot, fucking assholes.
These are all very highly skilled jobs. That,
well,
with
not
the exception
pilots.
of pilot. Yeah. Well, with the exception of pilot, pays fairly well.
Yeah.
We should be so lucky. I'll tell you what. I spent some time as a mechanical engineer major. That is not for most people.
No. But you should do that because you'll have a job forever.
Yeah, you will. But Jesus Christ, it's not easy.
No.
How dare they?
Well,
for
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Oh,
It's much easier if you do that major while not living the life we did in college. You see, that's the problem.
That's true. A lot of people slept at night.
Yeah, and a lot
Didn't
of people
watch X-Men the animated series. That's a callback, but also accurate. Didn't work out. We didn't really work out that much, but we rock climbed quite a bit. You worked out a lot.
Well, you did too, but we couldn't work out together because you banned us from that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
After the injuries.
You wanted to work out with probably gonna have to bleep that name. Point being, that guy sucks.
That didn't last, by the way.
I know it didn't, Karen. I've seen him.
I've seen Yeah, that's true. We did ban working out together. That was for the best.
You've got the music in you. Don't let go. You've got the music in you. One dance left. This world is going to pull through. Don't give up. You've got a reason to live. Can't forget we only get what we give. So, yeah, it's going to seem shitty, but, you know, if you just get that bucket hat, you shave that head, everything's going to be just fine or something.
Put on some orange-tinted sunglasses. You'll be great. Make sure they're, like, super little, but, like, chunky frames.
Ooh.
God damn it. Get a little black backpack. It's true. Don't want to talk about it. Say why not? For funsies, I thought for a minute, rather than him just singing generally to the public, the masses, the youths, don't conform, damn the man. What if this is all really bad game being spit at some poor woman in a bar?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Baby, you got the music in you. Don't let go. You've got the music in you. You've got one dance left. This world's gonna pull through. Cool. I think my friends are calling me.
Yeah, but you got to start by negging her and be like, listen, the night is falling. It's going to be a while before it gets light out. You better just give up on your dreams. You're just going to, maybe...
I've met girls like you before. You've got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, you're down on your knees.
Oh.
So polite, but we're busy saying please. Frenemies, who when you're down ain't your friend. Every night we're smashing Mercedes-Benz, but first we run. What?
Now,
are you hitting on me? Trying to sell you a car. What? Yeah. Anyway, just something to keep it interesting because it's pretty highfalutin and up their own buttholes. Just saying.
It's a little obnoxious.
Let's see here. Alternate theories. What if, because they do say that you got one dance left and this world's going to pull through. Just saying, could be an intergalactic dance challenge.
Oh.
This is just the hype speech for that one person we've nominated to dance on behalf of America, or I'm sorry, behalf of the planet Earth in order to keep it from being destroyed. I don't know.
Now,
some sort of Simon Cowell of Mars.
Do you think those aliens, first of all, if I were the aliens, I would just choose at random. I would not let somebody be nominated.
Ooh.
Well, because here's the thing.
Okay, of course, this is, for me, it was all born out of a show me what you've got situation, which we'll abandon that because, copyright. Let's do your thing. So they pick at random one person to dance as a representative of Earth.
Well, sure, but here's the thing. You're dancing against, Martians and Plutonians and...
Gleep glops.
Yeah, glorp gloppers. Yeah. Garlax Johnson.
Hold on. Gleep glop wasn't enough. You're like, sure, but don't forget the glorp gloppers.
That's right, you heard me.
God.
The point is, Garlax Johnson is there standing across from you. There's a tentacle monster. There's a cloud of goo, or a puddle of goo. There's some sort of horrible beetle man. There's a cloud of gas that just kind of lights up randomly.
That thing's going to lose.
Well, sure, Gary, they're all going to lose. I'm great at dancing. But the point is, they're all going to have wildly different styles, so it doesn't really really matter. You just want somebody to represent humanity in our, general motion movement capabilities, you see.
I would like to see somebody do the Elaine.
Yeah. Or that Australian lady that did the breakdancing.
Yes. Why is her name not jumping to my mind immediately? It's something stupid.
I never learned it.
It was like Free Jack or something. God, she was amazing. Ugh, she's retired now. Did you hear?
Yeah, I did. I did hear that.
Applejack or something stupid. God, she was amazing. Not good at breakdancing.
Well, sure,
but really funny.
So brave, honestly.
So brave.
Really brave.
A lot of times people will say brave when I don't think it applies for like just general competitions in low stakes, even the Olympics. That's really brave.
Yeah.
To go out there and make such a fool of yourself.
Yeah.
God, what was her name? Listeners, write in. hatebondmail@gmail.com. Now, that's irresponsible. I could Google it. gmail.com.
But we're not gonna. Anyway, song continues. I'm coming home, baby. You're the tops. Give it to me now.
That's what made me think it might be somebody hitting on someone.
Fair enough. 4 a.m. We ran a miracle mile. We're flat broke, but hey, we do it in style. The bad rich, God's flying in for your trial.
I got pretty confused here. Let's start with what we know. We ran a miracle mile. Double entendre here. Reference to the 1954 British Empire and Commonwealth Games. Ugh. Roger Bannister, been the first to have broken the barrier in the 4-minute mile earlier that year, but John Landy followed soon after with another sub 4-minute mile and setting a new world record time of 3 minutes, 58 seconds. This would be the first time in which they would actually compete against each other in the same games. So that's one reference to the Miracle Mile. And then, of course, the second being is Miracle Mile. I know there's one in LA, but I think it's a general term for like a shopping area, highfalutin shopping area. So we're flat broke, but hey, we do it in style. So do you think they just go to the Miracle Mile to be seen? Or do you think they spend money they don't have so that they can be broke in style?
I assume it's to be seen. I'm basing that mostly off the video, but yeah.
Okay. And then the bad rich, God's flying in for your trial. This is where I was most confused in the entire song. Like, why are there suddenly like bad rich people and there's a trial?
Well, I think because this is all social commentary secretly that just doesn't really come together. But, he's anti-capitalist.
Rich people.
I don't know exactly what. But yeah, God is going to come because, of course, God agrees with him specifically. So he is going to come in to punish the people that he would, you see.
Well, not to spoil the music video, because for once in a while, it's actually a bit of a treat. But perhaps, Tim, we've got it a little wrong here. Maybe this band is hunting the rich. So they went to that Miracle Mile, and it was more of like a Mickey and Mallory situation.
Yeah.
Stuck the place up.
Listen, we're going to get to this in the bridge. I feel like you picked this song for a reason. For the second episode in a row, you're trying to goad me into talking about health insurance and my feelings on it and that Luigi fella. And I fell for it last week, but I'm not going to do it here.
I was going to ask beforehand that we steer clear of this, but then I thought better of it because the moment I bring things up, you can't not talk about them. But here we are. So I'll say, you're right. Let's just steer clear of it. I won't have a problem doing that. We'll see if you do. But anyway, so Mickey Mallory situation. They took all the clothes. That's why they're in style. And they're rounding up the rich to have some sort of Dark Knight Rises scarecrow trial situation.
Yes.
People of Gotham. But when the night is fallen, you cannot find a friend. You feel the tree is breaking. Just bend. And again, makes me feel like he's hitting on this woman. He's saying, listen, you don't have to be perfect all the time. I get it. It can be overwhelming. And when you get like just feeling like you just can't, be perfect all the time, it's cool to break the rules a little bit. Don't drive yourself crazy being Mother Teresa. Let yourself go. Just let those rules bend a bit. Lower your standards. Let me come home with you. Yeah, his words, not mine. Chorus again, then we get, this whole damn world could fall apart. You'll be okay. Follow your heart. You're in harm's way. I'm right behind. Now say you're mine.
I think he's positioning himself as he will be somebody's hero. He will be somebody's savior. Again, I think it's very misguided because I feel like he has a lot of opinions and not a lot really to back that up. Like there's not a lot of
detail here.
Yeah. But he's one of these people that's just like, oh yeah, I have a problem with, capitalism. And you're like, what don't you like about it? And you're just like, I'm not sure what you're describing. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I just feel like we have this disparity, between the haves and the have-nots. Right. But like, what do you specifically like? Healthcare or distribution of wealth, opportunity? Like, it's really all of it. If anybody ever answers in a conversation, it's really all of it. They know nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's slightly gaslighting's not the right word. It's more hitting on. I think he's just hitting on her. He's like, this whole damn world could fall apart, but you'd be okay. I mean, I can tell you're one of those people that just follow your heart. And
honestly, if you're hitting on somebody
way,
correctly, you are kind of gaslighting them a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, not right.
Correctly.
If you're doing it
successfully.
Or you're making a real connection.
No, Garrett. You're not going to get, you've got like 20 minutes before she has to go off and hang out with her friends again, Garrett. You do not have enough time.
Somebody intervenes.
Right. You don't have enough time for this. You got to get in there. You got to make her believe.
I don't love any sentence that begins with "you got to get in there."
Not metaphorically, Garrett. You have to trick her into.
Oh no!
No. Not in a weird way. Not in a weird way. Emotionally, you have to trick her.
Not in a weird way, everybody.
You have to trick her emotionally into feeling
safe.
Yes, with you. When in all reality, she is not.
You want to as closely resemble the emotional footprint
her father.
Her father's created with her without it crossing that line and being exact. Because then you're in the friend zone. Then you just feel safe around you. And that's not what you want. Safe and horny.
So like you want her to feel safe with you, but know that there's danger lurking out there should she ever leave your general.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
You're in harm's way. I'm right behind. Now say you're mine. His words.
These are lyrics. Okay. Yeah,
those are his actual words.
I think we figured this song out.
Yeah. Then we get a post-chorus. Fly high. What's real can't die. You only get what you give. You're going to get what you give. Don't give up. Just don't be afraid to live.
Yeah. We get some more gross whisper singing on the fly.
Sure. It's mostly just word salad until we get to the bridge. That's definitely word salad with a few jabs, a few shots across the bow.
Yeah.
He says, health insurance, rip-off lying, FDA, big bankers buying, fake computers, crashes dining, cloning while they're multiplying, fashion shoots with Beck and Hansen, Courtney Love and Marilyn Manson, you're all fakes, run to your mansions, come around, we'll kick your ass in.
Okay, first of all, not going to talk about Luigi, not going to talk about health insurance.
Good.
But
I feel like you're about to, though.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna talk about the FDA and the goddamn big bankers, Garrett, and what we should do about them.
God damn it.
Here's what I will say. Don't make the mistake of thinking Y2K was not real or was a fake computer threat. We almost lost it all that day, Garrett. It was a veritable digital 9/11. I don't care for this fake computer crashes.
I don't know if it was a digital 9/11.
It was.
How so?
A digital 1231.
That's worse. I don't like what you're doing at all. It could have gone much worse than it did.
Right.
But it didn't go that poorly.
9/11 could have gone much worse than it did, Garrett.
I'm unsure what we're discussing anymore.
Anyway, Garrett, so the second half of the bridge, the diss track portion, was apparently a test for the media. Are you familiar with this?
Right.
This theory? Gregory, he said that the verse with the health insurance ripoff, blah, 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 was an experiment to see if the media would focus on the real issues, the issues that new radicals are bringing to the stage and not the celebrity ridicule.
Right.
Come on, man.
He later worked with both Beck and Hansen, not Courtney Love or Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. When asked about it in an interview, Marilyn Manson replied that he is not mad that he said he'd kick his ass. I just didn't want to be using the same sentence with Courtney Love and would crack the new radical's skull open if he sees him. And apparently Beck said that he was in a grocery store and Gregory came running up and was apologizing because it wasn't supposed to be personal.
That led me down a rabbit hole of where does Beck shop? Care to guess, Tim?
He shops at Ralph's.
The correct answer was Gelson's.
Oh.
Nah, it's Ralph's. I just wanted to say Gelson's.
I definitely think that this band could beat up Beck. However, Courtney Love would beat his fucking ass. That lady is from the streets.
Yeah, she scares me, even to this day. Maybe more.
She's only learned new tricks, you know?
Let's
She
wrap
has
this thing up.
cauliflower ears, Garrett.
I've got my own form of jujitsu.
It's heroin chic, but it is deadly nonetheless.
And I do it bottomless. God, you're fucking gross. You're so gross, Courtney Love. Get out of here. Wraps up with an outro where they say, don't let go, one dance left, don't give up, can't forget, etc., etc. That brings us to the music video. Tim, I'll open us up. You just pause me if I go faster than you'd like.
All right.
We open in a mall, and I'm overjoyed already, nostalgia flowing through these veins. You just don't see malls anymore. At least I fucking don't.
Especially not one that's as populated as this one.
Hell no. Now they're all just filled with, like, baby clothes and Payless.
Yeah, Morlocks. Future Morlocks.
Yeah, you want to build a Morlock army, you get yourself to a mall ASAP. Only downside is there might be 2-3 gangs already affiliated. Gotta enter yourself into a gang war to recruit your Morlocks. Anyway, let's see here. So we're in a mall. There's a bunch of adults in suits looking disgustedly as they walk around through the mall and glaring at these teens loafing about in the most 90s is late 90s is 90s garbage clothing from Abercrombie and American Eagle and Aeropostale, and you fill in the blank. Gadzooks maybe might be in the mix.
Yeah.
The hair gel, Tim, the
Sam
tiny
Goody.
yellow tinted band shirts maybe. Pacific Sunwear before it dropped the IFIC and just became Pac Sun. Yeah, everything is cooler when it's shorter. See The Shack, aka Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Man, that didn't last.
WIHTA.
No, that one works.
No. All right.
Our title's quite lengthy. Anyway, yeah, so we got hair gel, yellow tinted sunglasses, sideburns aplenty, and it's just disgusting. I'm grossed out by it too. Then, out of nowhere, like a flash mob, but the opposite, the band starts to sing in the middle of the mall, and all the adults run screaming like it's an active shooter.
That's okay.
It's true. Like a woman, like people are trampled, Tim.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, people died during the filming of this.
Terrified of alternative pop. Let's see. Then the band takes to mopeds and starts rounding up adults with giant nets.
Yeah, there's
a la
businessmen and-
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the singer. I know he's not British, but God, he looks British, right? he looks like that guy from that M. Night Shyamalan in the movie where he was the split personality fella. I think it was from Split. Was it called Split?
You're really testing me right now.
He kind of looks like Michael Rosenbaum, but like each one of those guys playing a dirtbag minor character in an early Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, he actually does look like the dude from Split. What is that guy's name? Professor Xavier.
Yes.
Charles. I gotta stop. That's like the 60th reference to X-Men today. I don't know why we haven't been watching it. I mean, I did try to start a Morlock army, but that was anyway.
I've been watching it.
Oh, anyway, I characterize the lead singer's looks as like the misconception everybody has to cloning. So like if you cloned Moby, everyone's like, oh, so he's gonna look like just like Moby, and you're like, no, but like close. And then you get this guy.
Yeah, like some scientist somewhere like spilled their Mountain Dew in the fucking cloning goo or something. You know, just
and you got Murby.
Yes.
Oh, that's hurtful. Anyway, so the band takes to mopeds, rounding up adults, and then we've given the lead singer a hard time. And it's a perfectly fine song. Really, we're just poking holes. We're picking nits. But I want to empathize with the lead singer in this music video because he is not an instrument player. And so his only job is to sing. And in this music video, they do not give him a microphone or a stand, which requires him to dance about.
Yeah.
And he has, here's the other person that I had. Thank you, notes. The lead singer, and this is a quote, has the charisma and good looks of a young Paul Shear. It's not great. Sorry, Paul, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, unless you have that mustache, in which case, back in.
I was going to say, there's a reason he grew that fucking mustache.
Yeah.
Some people need some accoutrement for their face. You could use some, Tim.
Nah, I like it raw.
You and ODB. But seriously, my point is asking this poor fucker to dance to camera is beyond embarrassing for him and us watching.
They gave him absolutely no stage direction. He has never danced before. He has never seen anyone dance before. He's only heard it described by a guy who was a little drunk.
I've read it in a book. Did the book have diagrams? It did not. Yeah, if we had sent him out as our intergalactic representative, we would have been destroyed. That cloud of gas would have beaten this guy. Oh, it's really bad. Anyway, they released several dogs from their cages at an adoption center at the mall, and the dogs are set free. Bad news, gang. Those dogs, they're gonna die. You gotta have people take care of dogs. You're not helping them.
Right.
But then we learned the reason they did that is because things are escalating, and we're putting adults in cages.
Well, yeah, you got to have room for those businessmen and security guards and whatnot.
Right. So youths have gathered in the mall. They're enjoying the concert when a super common youth event breaks out. There's a big popcorn fight, and everybody's having so much fun. Ugh. Yeah.
It's like those movies like your Van Wilder or something when they show up and the party really gets started because somebody brought a six-pack. Like, what's happening?
Hey, guys, I've got 6 beers. Yeah, the party's here.
Yeah, you're going to have to, like, maybe we pass them around. Or does anyone have cups?
Or when they swing, like, wildly the other direction, where they're just like, I'm here, guys, and I brought the Rolling Stones. You're just like, wait, that doesn't happen.
No, maybe Smash Mouth.
Oh, you could get a Smash Mouth.
Well, not anymore.
Hey, do you guys have a 6-pack? Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to talk about a guy who's not going to be satisfied by a 6-pack? Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a real drinking problem. Killed him ultimately.
Anyway, they begin harassing a poor lady that works in a food court. Everyone seems to be shouting at her and throwing things at her
you
while
missed
he
something,
dances.
Tim.
Oh.
She's not a poor lady. She's an adult. So she's in her like ladies' business. What do they call it? Like a dress, it's like a skirt and a lady's business suit.
I agree that women should not have workwear either.
That's not what I'm trying to say. Anyway, a woman, an adult, is attacked by a gang of youths, Dawn of the Dead style. And instead of consuming her flesh, she's given a makeover to work at a falafel stand. And so they throw her into the food court, and that's why they're all shouting at her to give them fountain drinks.
Well, I don't like it either way. It made me uncomfortable.
The whole thing's very strange. And if the fun part about the music video is because it's really shoddy and everyone's an unpaid extra. So if you watch any one person in a scene, you can tell they've not been given any direction. And so they're doing the same thing over and over like an NPC. And like you can see the brief moment where they like kind of look over to the director or assistant director and they're like, anything? Nope. Okay, more of that. I'll just keep waving my arms. It's one of the funnier music videos we've done in a long time. And not because of any one particular like motif or idea, but just the general like, there's like 30 extras in here and they're only getting pizza and Gatorade. So like, don't look at any one person. They're going to look real stupid. Let's see here. So after the assault that poor woman, force her to hand out drinks, finally the police arrive, but it's just one man who's thrown into a comically large net by a group of teens. And I just want to say, like, the dichotomy between, woo, we're throwing a party, we're getting fountain drinks and hurling popcorn at each other, and we're putting people in cages and we've captured the police. Like, there's some serious, like, hostage negotiations going on under the surface of this, like, happy-go-lucky music video.
Oh, yeah. If the lead singer was shot in the face by a SWAT team member to end this thing, that adds up.
If the fucking song ends and they're standing in front of the goddamn mall fountain and he takes a sniper shot through the neck and falls back into that coin fountain and all you hear, and then we hard cut to a guy on the railing of the second row outside of Britches or whatever, Claire's, and he just says, target's taken out. And that's how it ends. Best music video I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Instead, we just cut between all the scenes we've been describing over the course of this. Finally, we see the fountains and the elevator and the Orange Julius that lady's working at. It's kind of that over and over, and then it fades out.
Yeah.
Still very funny. If you have time, folks, give it a watch. It's 90s video making at its best. Like, show up to the County Valley Mall this Saturday, free pizza and Orange Julius. Alrighty, that brings us to how did it do? So I'm going to ask you, how did it do?
Pretty well. This hit number 1 in Canada and New Zealand, as well as the US alternative chart, but it only hit number 36 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It did hit number 33 on the 3 Austria chart, number 29 on the Isländski Listen Top 40, number 27 on the Swedish Sverigetoplisten, number 18 on the Swiss Schweizer Hit Parade, and number 19 in the the Dutch. It sold more than 1.2 million copies in the UK alone. Not sure how many copies the single sold in the US, but the album is certified platinum, so they did pretty well. Also in 2002, this was voted the 64th greatest one-hit wonder of all time on VH1.
Yeah, a lot of people love this fucking song.
Yeah.
Do we have any reviews? What do people think of it?
Well, Garrett, we've already gotten Joni Mitchell's review, so let's play the Robert Christgau game. Bizwiz wise-ass Greg Alexander is a post-alt type we'll be seeing more of. Schooled in pop values he knows as a careerist rather than an aesthete, his tough times, the ones that come naturally to young entertainers on the make in a world where rebelliousness isn't necessarily faked just because it's saleable. Clearest musical reference, Todd Rundgren in Hall & Oates. How many boho bands have the uncooled to inspire such comparisons? How many have the knowledge? How many have the chops? Garrett B. Harvey. What does Robert Christgau think of this song / the album it comes from?
I feel like this one's a home run. Easy peasy lemon squazzy. A-.
Haha, Garrett. He gave it an A-.
Dude, I don't know if it's like that scene in The Simpsons where suddenly Bart speaks French, but like,
yeah, you speak idiot.
It all made perfect sense to me. That I've never been more concerned.
Yes. There are 249 total ratings on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 86% 5-star, 0% 1-star. The only one of these I will read is by Whamp from 2016. While training for a Ragnar relay race, I downloaded songs that will motivate, encourage, and push me to do my best. For that to happen, I need clean lyrics with positive and uplifting messages. Since it was a Ragnar relay race, I was on a team, and this song also helped me foster that team spirit. Something is much needed for a 72-hour, 200-mile adventure across the state. I can listen to it around kids too, because the lyrics are clean. Essentially, having this song has helped keep me going when I am exhausted and tired from all the running. 5 out of 5 stars.
What, are you just listening to it on repeat?
I think so, yes. But, I think that's also kind of a review or an ad for the Ragnar relay race.
Oh, it's a relay.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I was like, man, 200 miles is a long ass time to run.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people is in the relay team?
No, you want to do this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, but we'd probably need another person.
Oh, sure. But we don't know another person. I mean, there's these interns, but most of them...
unfit.
Vitamin deficient at this point. 3 of them have rickets.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Because we hate them. That's why it's funny. Garrett,
I could see through some of them.
Oh, dear. I went to YouTube, and I want to say that this song has the unique distinction that so many people, I would say probably 1 million people, did not kill themselves or they quit heroin because of this song. It has done a lot of good.
Weird.
Z Minor 8534 said, I was all of 28 years old, just graduated from college, got a late start, working in a call center in Dunwoody, Georgia, with a $35,000 salary and a slightly used maroon Mercury Cougar. I was living high. Seemed like better and better opportunities kept coming my way. This song and a few others that were getting heavy airplay at that point formed my perfect summer. Anything was possible, it seemed. And truth be told, my life has been pretty much an upward trend since then. Still, it's all coming up Millhouse. Still, there are very few times in my life I choose to revisit if given the chance, but this would be one. You got the music in you, baby. I like that. It seems like something horrible is about to happen, and then nope, it just all turns out well.
It also is, and hey, kudos to this guy, but it also is the exact opposite message of the song.
Yes. Yes.
I really like that song about fighting conformity and going your own way, and after I got my degree, I minded my P's and Q's, started in the call center, worked my way up, and I've had, pretty steady but rewarding career.
Mike Clark, a 952. I was 38 and going through a painful separation / divorce when this came out. I'll be 63 in December and love putting this song on a couple times a year. I remarried and had a couple of grandkids that call me Papa. Don't give up. You have a reason to live. Don't do anything stupid that your family will regret. Big hug for everyone.
My goodness. I don't know what it is about people who write reviews and feel compelled to place context as in age. Like sometimes it's appropriate, right? But like so many people are like, I'm 43, I'm 61, I'm 29. It's never that. They're always old. It's very strange.
Wanda Gray 2061. I'm a 64-year-old grandma raising 2 teenage grandkids. This is my go-to song when I need encouragement to carry on through this living hell.
Hope the grandkids don't check on grandma's profile.
If you're listening to this right now and your grandma is named Wanda Gray, know that Wanda Gray fucking hates you.
You are a burden to her. You are not how she envisioned her retirement years.
Yes.
She did not raise her children to raise those children.
She
Poor
did.
lady.
Yeah. Let's see. Bothrop's Asper 89. This song brings back a very specific memory. It was 2001. I remember being in the back seat of my grandma's car while she drove to a family meeting. My grandma hated news shows, so she used to leave whatever radio station had cheery music on. I remember this song playing on the radio when my grandma made some small talk and said something that sticks to me to this day. You're lucky for being a kid this age. It probably won't get better than this. I didn't thought about it too much then, but now every time I hear this song, it always brings me back to that day and that very specific phrase. 9/11 happened a couple months later. My grandma's car got totaled in 2005, and my own grandma passed away in 2008 due to complications during a tumor removal surgery. Even the radio station got sold and turned into another newscast station. Grandma was right. It didn't get better than that.
Those key milestones that we all remember. 9/11. The car being destroyed. Grandma dying. All of those equally tragic events. Like, I get what he's saying, but it's just so crazy.
That time, that radio station changed to a different frequency, and they started doing news at that time.
There's also a very good chance that he does not live in New York.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, granted, you can trace a lot of awful things that exist today back to 9/11, but, like, that's probably not what he meant.
No, I don't think it is at all. World's Fair NYC. This was filmed at the Staten Island Mall. My friend Kenny is the guy at the beginning with a blue hat and eyebrow rings. I was delivering Snapple there the day this was being filmed. So many memories. Some things are still identical, but the food court is completely relocated, and now there's stores in its place. That cheesesteak place still exists in an updated form at the new food court. Sorry, just wanted to drop some fun facts. All love.
Wow. Jesus H. Christ. That's a dynamite reviews, Timbot. Who's this for?
The extremely sad.
I think it's just for the 90s. God, you're right, though. Those reviews say it's for those seeking inspiration.
I could read some reviews from the heroin addicts and the suicide attempters.
No, we just don't have time. Final thoughts. Anything to declare?
Would you like to hear from one of those suicide attempters?
No.
Oh, then no. Then no.
Great. Tim, do you hate this song?
Nah. What about you, though? Garrett, did you weirdly get there?
No, but it did have an impact such that, like, I'm probably gonna skip this song for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's kind of irritating.
It is. Yeah, it is if you listen to it 20 plus times.
Yep.
Which I did. Great stuff, Tim. That brings us to listener mail. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to?
Well, Garrett, I think, given what you did to all of those poor Morlocks this week, you deserve a win. I think you should go first.
Not two.
So help me if you take my goddamn email. I will put you down with the goddamn Morlocks.
It'd be really funny if I did. Instead, I will read 2 very short emails. Maybe we can start trimming down the backlog. So, first one is entitled Tim is Right, which makes me very sad. It's from Taylor. Taylor writes, the #1 cowboy in the Big Apple, Tim and Garrett. Boys, hello. Thank you for the Denves Prepisode. It's the John Denver episode that you abbreviated. Yes. The Denves, because you don't know how syllables work. The timing lined up perfect with my dad's newest relapse. Meth, actually true. I don't care.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry. Also, how is that lining up? What's happening?
I don't know. I think it was good for a laugh with a tragic time.
Oh.
I don't care. You can read this word for word. So I know we have their blessing. The timing, as I said, really made this more funny. I still don't fully understand why that is. Did we talk about meth? Maybe we talked about meth in detail in the episode. Sometimes we do that.
Quite possibly. We shred it and burn it, and we do not listen.
Yeah, can't. as the title says, Tim is right. The Muppets do suck. Blasphemy.
Yes. Yes.
I picked this email and maybe shouldn't have given the tragic confession in the middle, but given the tragic revelation in the middle, but I picked it because, Tim, I am really unhappy to say we got a not insignificant number of emails regarding the Muppets.
I think I
don't
won.
love them.
Yeah, some did. Some were very angry with me. But
yeah, a couple, but if I'm being honest, and I always am on the show, it was disproportionately anti-Muppet.
Yeah, a lot of...
That makes me like super sad.
A lot of cessheads in this audience.
Cessheads. No, here's the really confusing part is another thing came to bear that I was not expecting. So my Muppet time was mostly relegated to reruns of The Muppet Show on like Nick at Night or some shit, and like the early Muppet movies that we had taped off of TV. I check out of The Muppets at like 1990, maybe 91.
So roughly when Jim Henson died.
Roughly, yeah. I'm a Henson head from way back. But there's all these Muppet movies that come after that I don't recognize. And it's made me, I have not been welcomed into the Muppet community in the way that I had hoped to be, because I call some of their Muppets fake Muppets.
Yes.
But all the voices are wrong.
I had a similar thing with the conspiracy theory community.
Too radical, I suspect.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got some pretty out there ideas.
There never were buildings in Midtown Manhattan, Garrett.
There never was a World Trade Center.
Yeah.
I'll do you one better. No change. Loose change. Oh, you people are freaks. Anyway, email continues, but I'll keep it short. Keep up the good work, boys. I love every episode. Can't wait for the Icy Pissmas. I agree with the previous email. Do more new metal / butt rock. I'd kill for some more Limp Bizkit or the Korn album Issues. Interesting. P.S. I still check for little Durst under my couch. Luckily, I'm Durst free. I have no idea what that means, but it's very funny.
You don't know that. You could have a Durst under there. Sometimes those guys are real sneaky.
Yeah, but what do you mean? So he's like so tiny, or he's like hiding behind a couch leg?
No,
What?
it's like, I think it was in E.T. when E.T. hides among the stuffed animals.
Yeah.
Right, so maybe he's just there like he's pretending to be one of your many mannequins, you know?
I don't think most people have a lot of mannequins.
No.
Most people didn't rent out an old abandoned mannequin factory because they got a, quote, sweet deal.
Listen, Garrett, what if these things come to life? We could put them to work
That will
for
be
us.
the worst day of my life and probably the last.
No. We just
Is that why you got it? You hope they come to life?
We'll just do sort of a Morlocks-esque thing. They're not really people, so we just put them to work. It's fine. It'll be great.
Not really people. Jeez.
I've designed some sort of collar for them that I think are really going to keep them in check.
Yikes. I only know mannequins to come to life to do two things. Have wacky hijinks with Andrew McCarthy, see Mannequin and Mannequin 2 on the Move.
Was he in both?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Huge mistake.
He might have been. I know the woman wasn't. It's like Kim Cattrall in one of them. But anyway, and the other one, more alarming, murder.
Well, yeah,
so
they're going to murder. They're going to murder. But that's the thing.
Sure.
You got to get in control of them. If
you have to imprint as their mummy.
Exactly. Exactly. You have to anticipate what they're going to do. You have to anticipate that this is going to become an issue so that it doesn't become an issue.
Right. So the moment they come to life,
you have to be planning this well in advance.
So you've been breastfeeding the mannequins preemptively, so that when they do come to life, they will see you as a mother type figure and do your bidding.
We're gonna say that's a metaphor, but yes,
checks out. And you know what? You've just made it so we don't have to have a difficult conversation later. So that's fantastic. 2 birds, 1 mannequin. Let's see here. I said I had 2 emails, so let me read the second one. Subpoena notice for Garrett Harvey from Brennan. Brennan, aren't you cute? That's not how you should title emails. Hey, Garrett and Tom, aka 100 G-Spot and Tim, aka Gare Bear and Bowel Movement Chartson, aka G Roach and DJ Soft Nanners.
I don't like any of this.
I had forgotten about DJ Soft Nanners. That is so demeaning in the most curious way. Anyway, email continues. It's your boy, the real Major Lazer. I don't know what any of that means. You guys should do another Gwen Stefani album. Timmy would go cray-cray for the fire tracks on The Sweetest Escape. I listen to your show religiously and could probably make a couple chatbots of you two to put into silly scenarios.
How about, make the chatbots, have them do our show so that we can take a goddamn extended vacation.
Yeah, like a real vacation, not like a week here and there. My God. Also, I will be sending an image of Tim, quote, Bobby Hill, quote, Richardson, and Cowboy Garrett Cowboy Harvey. That's not a great frightening. Hope you got a kick out of the subject line, LOL, MAO. I think it gets weirder. Within cells interlinked, within cells interlinked, within cells interlinked, which I'm pretty sure is from Blade Runner, the new one, but I have no idea why, both with the movie or the email.
Cool.
Good job, the quote-unquote real Major Lazer. Yeah, get those chatbots up and running. I'm a little cautious around your loose terminology of silly scenarios. The fuck does that mean? We've had some pretty upsetting artwork, so we're a little on edge when it comes to non-descriptive things like that. Get more specific, but more or less we're a go. Get those chatbots going so we can take a fucking break. Tim, what email, if any, did you get this week?
Ooh, I've got one called Ball Hardness from Dustin B.
Yikes.
My dearest Gerlach and Tiny Tim, greetings and a merry icy Pissmas to the both of you. Finally, my engineering expertise can help you guys answer the hard-hitting questions that come up on your fine podcast. That's one word, by the way, Dustin. There is a tool used for measuring hardness of various objects. It's called a durometer. It has a tiny point that you press into the object you're measuring hardness, and it gives you a number on a gauge similar to a pressure gauge. I don't know why you thought that would help. I'm not an engineer. Now, while I've used this device several times for non-testicle related measurements of hardness, I have no idea what the units are. Could probably look it up, but I simply cannot be bothered to gain any real efficiency with something I use very seldomly. Let's call it a unit of squish.
Oh.
So to answer your question, 6 units of squish. I'll take measurements over a period of several weeks and see how it trends. This could be my masterwork. Nobel Prize, here we come. Most ardently, Dustin. Now, Dustin, I don't know why you think you would receive the Nobel for this. We are the theoreticians, theoretical. We came up with the idea. You're just doing the testing to prove it.
Yeah, we call that production work.
Yes.
Tim and I are going to be first authors on this paper. Listen, if we get when we get the MacArthur Genius Grant, as I have pledged to do before I die, for something ideally pretty stupid, and this fits that bill, you will get a shout out and $1,000.
Ooh, what do I get?
To be used exclusively on WIHTA merch.
Yes, oh yeah, they will be in Why I Hate This Album bucks.
Yeah, which are all but useless until we get that store stood up.
Oh,
But
we are
once
not
it
accepting
is-
them in that store, Carrots.
But we do have a section of the website where you can convert them to US dollars.
Yes, it is a
Based-
steep fee to transfer it.
Oh, yeah, but also it's dependent upon where the dollar is versus the show bucks. Show bucks have been strong lately because they're not many.
Yeah, that's true.
They are scarce. So, results may vary. Listen, couple of things for Dustin. One, thank you for doing this work. And two, again, you will get a shout out. But more importantly, because it's very, very important that you continue this work and not lose your job. Don't take your junk out at work. Don't do that. Maybe don't even measure at work. Maybe take it home.
Yes, we are advising you to take things from your job, equipment.
If the alternative is to take your ball sack out,
That's always an alternative.
yeah, you're right. In any given situation, you could take out your ball sack.
Right, so in any given situation, you are free. You have our permission to take things from your job to your house.
Sure, but you don't work for us, so if you did, you would not.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Listen, if your work has a policy that you can't do that, obviously you know that and I don't. I'm not liable. But anyway, I'm just saying, be mindful of where you're using this device, right?
Right.
We can all agree on that. Don't be like, no one's around. I'll just do a quick measurement.
And don't call it a quickie.
No, don't call it a squishy either.
Units of squish, I think, is the accurate, though.
Right. Last bit, though, cotton wipes. Get some alcohol before and after.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody
especially if you're
wants
bringing
your-
that thing back to work. In my mind,
Yeah.
he was just, it was not ever going back to work.
Oh, no, there's no reason. Those things aren't cheap, man. I looked into it on Amazon. They're going to notice it's gone. Find out what the units are, Dustin. You spent all this time writing the email and the pissmas.
You
Putting
whore.
things on your balls. Great email, Tim. Good stuff. Don't forget, measure your balls. That brings us to Music News of the Weird. Should you go first, or would I be the one to do that?
Well, as the clear winner of the email challenge, definitely I'm going to go first.
Jury's out.
Music news of the weird.
In Muppet news. The Jim Henson Company lot has been sold for $45 million. Care to guess who? Who bought it?
For $45 million?
That's right, Garrett. John Mayer and Mick G., singer of Your Body is a Wonderland with Giant Hands and director of Charlie's Angels, Terminator Salvation, and 2024's Excellent Uglies, respectively. They are apparently going to rename the studio at some point. I think John Mayer's going to oversee mostly the recording part of it. McGee is going to do mostly the visual aspect. What on earth do they plan on doing there, Garrett? Are they going to make Muppets do some sort of horrible body Wonderland thing in the style of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle?
Okay, so here's the good news. They didn't buy the Muppets. They bought the studio.
We don't know that. There's probably a bunch of Muppets laying around.
No, they're not just going to leave Kermit behind.
Well, not Kermit, but some of the lesser-known ones, Garrett. Is Christian Bale going to voice one and rant at Shane Hurlbut until he cries? Will the Grateful Dead be involved in any way?
Doubtful.
Interesting. Also, in more to the point, the one true church, the Church of Scientology, was previously trying to buy the studio to make Xeno-related Muppets content before this. So watch out, John Mayer, and to a lesser extent, McGee, you're on a list.
Yeah, enemies of Xenu. Oh, Jesus. Okay, listen, I get that John Mayer would have a fuck ton of money. Like, he's had several hit solo records. He's been touring with the Dead for like 20 years. Maybe not quite that long.
No,
but
like
a very
4.
long time. No.
It's not
longer than that.
It's not that long.
I would say at least 10.
Okay. I'll give you 10, but I don't think so.
Well, we're going to find
out.
out.
To keep the peace, it's been 10 years.
I just don't really love how you're saying that. Like, you're doing me some sort of fucking favor.
Yeah. I could fight you on this. I'd win. You know that. We both know that.
Listeners, this is what's fun. We have computers, we have phones. Both of us could easily figure this out, but we're just going to argue without facts. Listen, it's something we used to do all the time, and not just Tim and I, society, and we recommend you bring it back.
Oh, society is still doing it, Garrett. I can show you some message boards that talk about the shape of this here Earth. They do not care for facts. They're the worst human beings on the planet. Garrett, do you have any news?
I do. It's a follow-up news story. We'll start lighthearted with a win. Stephen King's WKIT radio station was formally reported to be shutting down at the end of the year, but Tim, I can announce late-breaking news. The station lives on.
Yeah, I had this phrased as in Garrett was right, but now is wrong news.
Right. With the purchase of WKIT by one of Zone Radio's former hosts, the station is getting a new lease on life. Jeff Solari, a former Zone Radio sports host, said that after hearing about the closure of 3 of the Stephen King-owned stations, he and a fellow business partner by the name of Greg Hawes reached out to the author and struck a deal. Basically, he said, look, we just like the station. We like that it's local. We like that it's run by local people about local issues. We don't want to change a thing. If that sounds good, sell it to us. This is how much money we got. And, Stephen King's super weird and was like, okay, ardent reader, you've got it. And so he sold it. And so all those people get to keep their job. It's a good number of folks, like 40 plus people got to keep their job on Christmas. So that's
more
fun.
Importantly, though, Solari's incredibly anachronistic and kind of adorable lifelong goal of owning a radio station in 2024 has come true. So
it's weird. I had like the exact same reaction as this guy did, but I don't want to move to Maine, so I didn't offer. But like, I'd love to know how much it costs because they were just going to shut it down. So what the fuck does Stephen King care? Like, if I got to imagine he's got more money than God. So if you're just like, hey, can I
we could bring Timtress to the airwaves. I like it.
Oh, you would be on like 6 hours a day.
Yeah, talking about Timtrests.
All right, so I'm opening up Google News. First story is about a guy. I don't know this guy. He's in Haiti. Seems bad. Welcome back to hour 4 of Timtress. I'm not being paid, so this isn't very good.
Just like this show.
Accurate. No, we put a tremendous amount of work in. I guess it's still not very good.
There it is.
Tim, news you now.
In Taylor Swift news, Taylor Swift came to a Kansas City Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Chiefs and Texans play and showed up wearing a faux red fur.
Gino!
What the shit is this? This is just... no more of the TMZ shit. We talked about this. No one cares about who or what, you fascist weirdo. I'm sorry. I apologize, Garrett. Injustice news this week. Morgan Wallen has been sentenced for that time he almost killed a couple of Nashville police officers by hurling a chair at them from Eric Church's bar back in April. Like any one of us, anyone, no matter how much money they have or who they are, he was sentenced to 2 years of supervised probation, which is a fair sentence for reckless endangerment. This is, of course, a man who was arrested for being too drunk at Kid Rock's garbage bar, guy who yelled a bunch of N-bombs that really helped his career, both in terms of album sales and critical appraisal. Just saying, Garrett, if we ever need that MOWA bump. On the other hand, he was also sentenced to 7 days in what is euphemistically called a DUI education center. The BBC just called it an education centre, which sounds like something out of 1984, so there's a good chance he's gonna undergo some sort of, I don't know, a Clockwork Orange style eye torture. One can hope.
Just people driving into walls.
Push-ups, Gino. 50 of them.
Yeah, not the best.
Garrett, do you have any news?
I do. Lots of it, in fact. 3 of my favorite character actors on the planet have gotten together to create a band.
Okay.
David Krumholtz of Numbers fame, Michael Shannon of Zod fame, and Kevin Corrigan of Goodfellas, and what are most people going to know him from? He played a weird uncle on a sitcom.
Most people are about to know him from being murdered in a river by Michael Shannon.
Anyway, if you look him up the moment you see Kevin Corrigan, you'll go, oh yeah, that guy. Anyway, they've gotten together playing their very first show as a new indie rap rock group.
Oh, interesting.
In New York. Dubbed Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. The group comprises Krumholtz of the Santa Claus franchise, 10 Things I Hate About You, and more recently Oppenheimer, Shannon of Zod fame and nothing else, and then Corrigan, Goodfellas, Superbad, and Pineapple Express. He's in Pineapple Express. Alongside Superchunk drummer.
Oh, he was in Big Fan. He's the guy from Big Fan.
What is Big Fan?
That's the Patton Oswalt movie where he gets beaten up by the guy and...
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so they're a new thing that we must see.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking, if you look up photos, Shannon has his head shaved. He looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, he's very intimidating.
And I love David Krumholtz.
He's the guy, he's intimidating because he would go straight for thumbs in your eyes if you ever got in a fight with him.
It would be so unconventional.
It would be so immediate, yeah.
Yeah, he would jump to like biting your Achilles.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah. I learned that in Madagascar. Oh, are you filming a movie? No, I woke up there in a cardboard box after New Year's.
And a man was biting my Achilles and, you know.
I was like, I gotta pocket that for a time I'm ever fighting a stranger. Are you Kal-El? Oh, shit. God, he's great. Okay, what other news do you have, Tim?
Garrett, in the biz news, we have all been closely following Kendrick Lamar and Drake in their definitely evenly matched diss track battle. There were 6 total tracks, 4 on Kendy's part, 2 on D-Rake's part. They were a part of this. Care to guess how much those 6 songs made in sales, streaming, and publishing revenue in the U.S.?
$70 million.
Okay, well, you're making me look like an asshole with your God, that's a real Tim move you did there. $15.3 million goddamn dollars.
2025, we're switching roles.
I don't like that one bit. I am real irritating.
Ooh, 2025, WIHTA : body swap. We're going to start doing like themes like Archer did when they started getting bored.
No. Actually, let's do the switching roles. You can do all the history and stuff. Yeah.
No, because I don't want you editing the show.
Oh, I still won't do that. We're doing the on-screen switch, not the behind the scenes.
This sounds like all bad for me.
Anyway, Not Like Us brought in $7.6 million alone. Like That brought in $4.6 million. Drake's highest selling song made about $981,000. But of course, Drake hopes to cash in on those 2 lawsuits against record labels for pushing Kendry over him, and also because he got called a pedophile and no one gives a shit.
And everyone kind of went, yeah, Chuck's out.
Yeah. But don't cry for Jake just yet. He's worth $250 million. So
Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, I will say this. He works very hard.
I don't know, man. He does a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I've seen his hands. He's not a hardworking man.
No, he does have the hands of a soft boy.
Yeah, not like Kendrick Lamar. The guy's got calluses for days.
Take your word for it.
Ever been slapped by Kendrick Lamar?
No, and I hope never to be.
No, fair enough. Garrett, what other news do you have?
Well, Well, in Somebody Please Keep an Eye on Britney for the Love of God news. It's lengthy. We might have to lower the font size. Santa Claus delivered big time for Miss Spears this Christmas, Tim, when the pop star was visited by her son, Jaden. She was so excited, she immediately had to make an incredibly upsetting video for Instagram with the following caption, quote, "Best Christmas of my life. I haven't seen my boys in 2 years. Tears of joy and literally in shock every day. Cuckoo crazy. So in love and blessed. I'm speechless. Thank you, Jesus." Quote.
She should just spend that time with her child, you know?
Yeah, just don't say things like cuckoo crazy. I'm going to read a second story because I ain't got too many this week. Tim, very recently, and I think that somehow the entire internet missed this. Maybe I'm late to the party. Very recently, Kim Kardashian released a song. Did you hear about this? Did you read about this?
No, I have a block on my news for those people.
That's smart. Well, she released a cover of the 1953 Eartha Kitt holiday classic, Santa Baby, which was produced and released by none other than Courtney's husband, Travis Barker, and DTA and Columbia Records. It's a real release. Who gives a shit about that? Go find this music video. It is a fever dream of Lynchian proportions.
Okay.
It's her crawling around on the floor like some sort of submissive, abused woman, while the video, and there's no context, so I can just list things. It's got wise men, Jesus, businessmen doing deals, retired elves eating oatmeal, strippers playing Twister, donkeys eating hay, fake snow inside, old people caroling but only with Kim Kardashian songs, Macaulay Culkin's there in a Santa suit with a camcorder, and that's like 1/100th of what happens in this music video. But the whole time she's just crawling on the ground like she's not allowed to stand.
Gross.
And nobody's commenting on this. It's unhinged.
I mean, listen, if she's ever crawling around in our apartment, I think my tact would be just to ignore it and hope it goes away.
I mean, that's what I've been doing with that entire family.
Sure, that's why I have them blocked, but they're not. They're still here.
Tim, what other news you got?
In my last story news, in Dylan news, apparently Bob Dylan sat down with James Mangold and did a table read of A Complete Unknown while Mr. Mangold read all of the parts except Bob Dylan and Bob read as the Bob Dylan character. Now, allegedly, this was to help kind of tighten up the script and make sure it was as accurate as possible, although I don't know why you get Bob Dylan to help with that. That seems like the opposite of what he would do, but I'm
going to tell him a bunch of crazy lies. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah. I suspect, though, that this was Mr. Mangold pulling a fast one, right? Because if there's any allegations that there are any inaccuracies or anything in the dialogue, he can always point to that table read and say, no, maybe it wasn't in the 60s, but Dylan definitely said those exact words. I wrote them down and that fucker said them. He said across from me, he said it into a camera. I don't even need to say allegedly.
I would love to see that. That's the version of that movie I want to see.
Yeah. That is to say, I hope he had some really random and wild lines of dialogue written in there for Dylan to read just in case. Like whenever the fake Timothy Chalamet, has a long tirade about ass milk and throat berries and Dylan complains. He says, listen, man, you've said those words.
Good God. He just starts putting catchphrases in because he thinks it'd be really funny to hear Bob Dylan say it. Don't have a cow, man. Wait.
Or just have him do a bunch of product reads. And then, you got those.
Do you have gut health issues? I take Activia every day. My gut biome is very trustworthy and I have very regular bowel movements. What? I don't remember saying that to Joni Mitchell.
Yeah, all good stuff. All good stuff. Anyway, Garrett, that's my last news story. Do you have any additional news stories for us?
We will just mention that Snoop Dogg is now sponsoring bowl games of college football. I did dig slightly deeper, and it's called the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, understandably, because that's awesome, but it's actually the Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop line of premium drinks. Yeah. And then my last story is not a music news story, but just one I found.
Snapple brand beverages?
I think so.
It's real.
At this point, it's unclear because this is in fact a Snoop Dogg. God damn it! God damn it!
And that,
finally
folks,
happened.
is how you manifest
God damn it. Yeah, that's a Snop Dog related beverage. Anyway, my final story is not music related at all, but I just find kind of interesting and probably is either going to immediately be swept under the rug with a lot of money and apologies, or somebody going to jail. So did you hear about Jamie Foxx taking a glass to the face?
Yes, I did.
So I finally cobbled together some details here, and he's celebrating his birthday with his family. Very respectable birthday party. And then the Jackass guys are at another table, and they have a laser pointer that projects a penis onto their table. And Jamie Foxx is like, hey, trying to have a family dinner here. No dicks on my table, please. And they're like, oh, we're Jackass. We're hilarious. And allegedly, super allegedly, a member of their group by the name of Jasper may allegedly have hucked a very large glass at Jamie Foxx, cutting his face and require him to get stitches. And he's pressing charges.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. We'll see if he sues the shit out of him.
Yeah, hopefully. I tried to watch Jamie Foxx's special.
Yeah, what's that like?
I made it about 5 minutes in because the audience is just shouting the whole time, and I could not hear anything he was saying. It was distracting, and my brain could not figure out what was going on.
That's really strange.
Yeah, it's irritating.
It's maybe worth jumping 15 minutes in just to see if that stops.
It's not gonna. He's encouraging it.
Why would you encourage that?
I don't know, Garrett. I don't know.
All right, well, let's wrap this freak show up. That's going to do it for this week, folks. Before we go, Tim, let's announce it. What album are we going to be talking about next week?
Oh, Garrett, here's the thing. Just because you suggest something doesn't mean we're going to take your goddamn suggestion. This is a coincidence.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
We're going to be talking about Korn's 1999 album, Issues.
Yeah, that is a coincidence. Don't just think because you write it in, we're immediately going to do it. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it's a whole ball-based system.
Yeah, there's so many balls involved, but really just the one with the name on it. Okay, that's going to do it for this week. As always, please write into us with all your hopes, dreams, suggestions, fun anecdotes, and stories. You saw how it happened here today. We'll do that with yours. And if you're worried, oh my gosh, this is a sensitive story, just say, hey, don't read my name. Or even better, if you want it just to be a secret, just put in it, don't read this on the show. And guess what? We won't read it on the show. We're not jackasses. We appreciate the trust you put in us. And more importantly, we appreciate that you listen. If you want to reach out to us, follow us, get all things WIHTA. You can find us on Twitter. That's Album Hate Pod. Instagram is HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. HatePodMail@gmail.com is the email. HatePod.com is the website. We would love to get some new music for the show, so if that's a thing you do and you're interested in doing it for us, reach the fuck out.
Oh, there's an email, December 4th. Read the email. Somebody did.
Oh, fantastic. I should probably look at that. Okie dokie, that's going to do it for us for Why I Hate This Album. I've been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson. And Garrett P. Harvey thinks it's funny to buy you a trip to Europe and then wait until you are together in a crowded square outside of a government building in a city that the State Department has asked me not to name, and then point at you and just begin screaming, assassin!
We call that the assassin scramble.
It's not that funny.
It was very funny. I was laughing.
You were laughing.
You had a terrible sense of humor about it.
I was being tased.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. Riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides, the cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Enjoy heaven, Mr. Carter. This world was not good enough for you.